it's like NBC had prestige. He's like, I can't believe they actually partnered up with this guy. It's like it's embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, I myself, I went to like two XFL games here
Right.
with the Chicago Enforcers was the name of the Chicago team. And yeah, man, from what I remember, I mean, other than the half-empty stadiums, it was pretty cool, man. It was exciting. You know, it was the first time Chicago had cheerleaders in a long time for football, so it was really cool. And it was kind of, like teenagers football, where
that's why like they would ask the coach. Like I remember Ventura, and he had because they had a coach from I think the New York team, and the lady would run up. Why, coach? Why did you do that? And he would just run straight out. Like he would ignore the reporters' questions, and he's like, "Sir, coach, why did you do this and why didn't you do that?" And he's just like, "Get the hell out of my way!" And like he would run. And Ventura was like, they showed the clips like, I can't believe this coach is being an asshole. Like maybe I need to go down there and talk to him. So the next game he's down there, and he's like, "You can't intimidate me, coach. Answer the question." And like it started getting like kind of like wrestling-esque. And I'm just like, I don't remember any of that shit. And like, I am intimidated, but I will get him to answer a question. And the coach went straight to the locker room. And I'm just like, yeah, this is when it started getting like a little ridiculous. They said they were looking for ratings, right?
Yeah, they were kicking promos. They were doing promos down on the sideline.
And then they had like the announcer. He's like, the first game, then I guess Vince McMahon didn't like the announcer. He's like, I need you to have more balls, like be in their face. So what he did, he's like, he pulled him and he put JR for the second game. And I'm just like, I remember JR did games, but I don't remember him like, I can't remember how his football voice was. I can't remember if it was too wrestling-esque or he actually did like football,
Yeah. Well, JR, he's a big football guy. He's a college football.
Yeah, he likes
Oklahoma. Yeah, he loves the college football.
By God, he's like some bitch. And like I can't imagine him saying this. So I started looking for clips of like old XFL games on YouTube, and I found a couple. And JR was just, it was more like normal, It wasn't so in your face as Vince wanted. As the guy said, like Vince wanted to be like more bravado and being this, be as America, God damn it, they want in your face football. And and the guy was just like, man, I don't know what to do. Like he's like, I'm in my 20s. I'm like, I can't even hack it in the XFL. Like, what am I doing in TV broadcasting?
Yeah.
And they demoted him after the first game. So he was kind of like, I don't know what to do.
Shit, man. Well, no, man, it sounds like a good documentary, like you mentioned. I'm going to have to see if I could find it somewhere so I could download it. And yeah, usually those 30 for 30s, they are good. They're good documentaries by ESPN, so yeah.
Yeah, I recommend the USFL one. I recommend the Best That Never Was and the Pony Express. Those three right there are like the best ones that I've seen out of all of them. And the Jimmy the Greek one, too. That one was great. And the Marinovich one, the USC quarterback, I remember that kid. When I was growing up, he never had McDonald's, all this bullshit, and became like a heroin junkie. That's another great documentary, what happened to him. You should check those out. I think they're on Netflix right now.
Oh, cool, man. Have to check it out. For all you people out there, check it in. Send us your reviews on ffnquestions@gmail.com. But jumping into our article for this week, going to talk about a Phoenix-based comic convention that is now making the volunteers for this convention, pay. And by pay, I mean they join this club. They have to become a member of the Blue Ribbon Army, is what it's called. This group or union or what you would say for it. It starts at $20 a year. And once you pay for it, the comic book convention might select you to be one of its volunteers. So I know you're a big comic guy, Andy, so I'm not sure what,
I'm volunteering, man. I don't pay for shit.
Yeah, I don't know what you feel or if you've ever even attempted to be a volunteer.
It's just so, I've never volunteered. when I was going to the conventions regularly, I was thinking about volunteering, but it was like so cheap to get in. Like, why would I do that, right? And then as it started getting expensive, the volunteer slots got filled up real quickly. And then what you're seeing now is this article that we have here just shows what across the board a lot of the comic conventions are doing. Because all of them all of a sudden are getting popular because they all can't go to San Diego Comic-Con. So you got the big ones in the Midwest and the Southwest and the East Coast. And people were volunteering because some things are expensive now. It ain't like it used to be like $20 you get in. Now they're like $40 freaking $50 to get in for one day. When it used to be like a whole weekend, you could get in for like $60.
Yeah, and like Andy mentioned, most of the people that volunteered, you get in for free. That's one of the benefits of it.
You're like a gopher for some of the hosts, the guests that are there. You go, they want water, they want this. You're supposed to go get it, direct people where to go, stand in line. This is the end of the line. Well, obviously, it just got they get bombarded with so many people. An article states people would show up and then they wouldn't do shit. They just disappear. So they're like, you know what? Screw this. We're gonna start charging people to be a part of a group or an association, and some of the money goes to charity or something. And then you get selected to volunteer, but it's a membership of $20 a year. It's probably half of the cost of what one ticket is, I bet, or something like that.
Yeah. The guy who mentioned that was Matthew Solberg. He says many and more volunteers throughout the years were showing up without doing their work, and there was no way to prevent this from happening. So I guess this was their solution to make it a paid thing, like you said, for an association fee. And then that way they'll know that the people at least that paid might be a little more dedicated to work, and come in and actually do some of the work.
Think about it. It's like another revenue stream. If you get, let's say you need 100 people, right? And they all pay $20, and then you get maybe 300 people pay, but you only need 100. You're making a shitload of money off of them people, and then you're gonna get it It's a yearly thing you got to renew every year. Yeah, in 2017, at least 400 people volunteered. Right.
So they're expecting this year. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was 2016, and they're expecting this year for it to double and maybe go up to around 950 volunteers.
Is what they need, or
That's what they're expecting. And just to give you an idea,
as to $19,000,
an idea of ticket pricing in 2002, 400 people came to this Phoenix Comic-Con, paying $3 each, and now in 2016, over 100,000 visited and paid for tickets. So, yeah, man, the popularity of this comic book convention has definitely grown. And it's one of the largest comic book conventions next to San Diego
Southwest. Yeah. And that's the problem with all these conventions. Like when me and you were going regularly, there wasn't that many that you have now. You had a couple, the big one, Wizard World, Comic-Con, Chicago Comic, whatever it is
E2.
now. Now E2 is another big one.
Yep.
And then we used to have a couple mom and pops, like at the hotel in Rosemont. That went away. Then you have a couple local ones around town, but I mean, it was like $5. It was like relatively cheap. We got the DuPage one now. You see that? It's like $5 to get in, and it was like cheap to get in. But with the popularity of San Diego Comic-Con and the bigger conventions, everybody wants to go big. The Michigan one, the Novi one, that thing is like huge. The last year I went to 2 of those. The first year was like packed. The second time I went, I couldn't believe how many people were there for this little convention next to Detroit. They had a lot of people there, and it was freaking packed. You couldn't even walk in there, and that got me to stop going because it was freaking nuts. It was disorganized, and they just taking up money. And all these little cons, they're gaining. They're so popular now because San Diego Comic-Con, you got to get tickets. You got to fly out there. It's just so expensive. And people are like, screw that. I'll just spend money here at the local one. And I think that's why they had a big bump in it, along with, all the, comic book movies that are out. And more people, more casual fans go to dress up and just go walk around. So that it grew. It's just, they're too fucking big, man. And
yeah.
It's expensive now. I look at this as they're trying to milk people who would go and volunteer to save $1, but now you're charging them, and then you might not even use them. So,
yeah, that's the other thing that the article mentions is by paying the $20 a month or the $20 a year membership fee for the Blue Ribbon Army, you're not even guaranteed to be a volunteer at the show. This is just so that you can be part of the association. But they're not the only ones to do stuff like this. I mean, in Kansas City, Kansas Humane Society, they started a membership where they charge $15 annually for volunteers as well. And to just give you an idea as to ticket prices, nowadays, the ticket price for this comic book convention is $55 for an event pass. So $55 to go the whole weekend, or $20 plus for a single day's ticket. So you either pay $20 for a single ticket, or you pay $20 for a yearly membership and hope to get selected as a volunteer for the...
Yeah, they're not including probably like the little nickel and dime shit, the convenience fee, the printout, and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
That it's probably like another $10.
No, for sure.
So I mean, that's why paying the $20 makes more sense. But it's not even a guarantee that you might even get in, and then you got to go in there to work. You can't even enjoy it. They probably want you to do like an 8-hour day or something. I bet, right?
Yeah, I myself have never volunteered, but I have seen volunteers there, and like you said, usually they're golfers. Go get this, go get that. Come set this up. Come set that up. Even sit in for the people that are signing. I've seen a couple of people just sit there just to make sure people don't steal their photos, and they don't mess with their shit, because they don't want to pack it up, and then when they come back, unpack everything again. So they just leave everything out, and then they have somebody sit in, a volunteer, to kind of just keep an eye on stuff. So yeah, no, definitely you're working. And that's what they're looking for. They're like, hey, if you want to be a volunteer and you want to be comped the ticket price, you want to come in, and I'm not sure if there's any other perks like food or lunch or whatnot.
I think they let you meet some of the guests for free, or you might get like an autograph or something, or you might take pictures. But I'm like, we have that Facebook friend, he volunteered a lot. Yeah. At the con, and he would post his pictures and stuff when you see him with his volunteer shirt on, and then post all the pictures of the people he met, like some of the artists or the stars that were there, So I mean, it was a trade off, but now it's just I think it's just for them to make more money. Hopefully, they get more people to pay that, and then you get like 1,000 people, and then you only need like 200 of them. Somebody made a shitload of money. Where's all that money going?
Yeah, no. That was the other thing I mentioned in the article as well, was that these need to be a nonprofit organization, so it's not supposedly for profit, and that money's going for something.
That money is someone's pocketing it, or the convention, or they're splitting it or something.
Yeah. No, well, it's getting expensive for the convention, man. I myself probably would volunteer just to save me some money, man, because, yeah, it's getting ridiculous, man. It's like, $30+ to go. I don't know when was the last time I went to a Wizard World, just because of the price of the tickets.
Well, if you go Saturday to Wizard World, I saw them. They emailed me like in December. They're like, get early bird pricing, like for the whole package for like $100. I'm like, man, it's kind of weird. They're asking for you to buy tickets so freaking early, right? And then I saw that they were kind of hurting for money. And they wanted money up front, and the day of tickets it was like $50 for like Saturday, and like 40 for Friday, 30 for Thursday, and Sunday I think was 52 or 60. It was ridiculous, and I'm like, holy shit! Like if you get like a weekend, the whole weekend thing was like $150 or something, and I'm just like, Jesus, like this thing's expensive. But you get the perks, you get in an hour early and all that other BS, and I don't know, man. It's just as I got a little older, it's not as, I don't want to say it's not fun. It's just you got to be. It's a commitment, man.
No, yeah, no. I mean, I'm a casual fan now that I'm married and have a family, so I don't get to collect like I used to. But I used to have a subscription with my local comic store where I would just walk in and they would have a bag full.
Hold it for you.
Yeah, they would hold comics for me and have them ready for me. I mean, that's how many comics I would buy, and collect. But now being married and being older, I don't do that. So, but I do still enjoy them. So I like to go to these conventions, but more just to kind of browse